Thankfully, it's not more widespread like we had a few weeks ago, but we are going to see the low humidity continue. Of course, the very dry brush in those areas of western North Carolina. Here in Charlotte, not as much vegetation on the ground. It's still dry, though, low humidity locally. The one thing that we have positively to contain here the next few days are the gusty winds are not going to be quite as high. We're much lower than we were Monday and Tuesday when we had that wind advisory in effect. Local fire danger for tomorrow. They have bumped areas in the foothills up to that very high category. Again, it's similar to where they were earlier today. You can see high for the mountains and down toward those portions there of Chesterfield County, Anson, and Richmond. So starting to see these creep back up. We're normally in the blue or the yellow this time of year just because of constant cold fronts rolling in. So this will certainly be something we'll be watching the next few days. Again, the winds going lower is a positive, but what we don't have to help, at least in the near term forecast, is any kind of rain. Like local satellite radar, you can see dry and quiet conditions across most of not just the Carolinas, but most of the deep south as we are tracking really strong high pressure overhead. Now tomorrow we'll start to see a slight warm up. Today we hit a high of 72, the average 74. That's exactly where we'll be tomorrow, but that's going to be a much different story, kind of the exception to the rule over the next 7 days. We soar by Friday about 10 degrees to the mid 80s, and then we are rocking and rolling in the 80s for the majority of the next 7 to 10 days. Temperatures Saturday and Sunday, especially peaking close to 10 to even 15 degrees warmer than average for this time of year. Now with those numbers, when you start to see 10, 15, even 20 degrees above average, the big question is will we be near record values? Near records on Saturday. Probably not near records on Sunday, but both days substantially higher than normal. Sunday, we're nowhere close to that record of 91 set over 120 years ago. But on Saturday, we'll probably be within a few degrees. I'm not seeing a lot of support for a potential high above 87, so I don't anticipate us getting close to it, or I guess technically getting close to it. But I don't anticipate us tying it or breaking it, but still just goes to show you how warm we are this weekend compared to where we just were a few days ago with temperatures well below average. Over the next 7 to 10 days, as I mentioned, the 80s are going to dominate. We actually do look to see even stronger signs of above average temperatures all the way through the last day of April. Now, remember these maps when we start to see the long-term outlooks are not confidence in how warm it's going to be, but confidence in that we will be warmer than average. So it's a pattern, kind of a shift, a trend change. And so we are very confident at this point that temperatures will be above average all the way through the last few days of April. Now, with that being said, if you're someone who likes to plant and you have held off on your garden so far this year, we normally do stay after tax day because the average latest frost in Charlotte is the week of April 10th to 15th. However, still have a way, just in case we get a frost into May. It's looking less likely at this point, but just in case, make sure you have a way to cover items up or bring them inside, especially if you work in the agriculture sector, as that will be vitally important to those crops. Your pollen levels, of course, they stay elevated over the next few days. It's just that time of the year, especially with the warm and windy conditions. As we look at your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, of course, our big next story is really the warmth heading into the weekend. We'll also be again watching those winds very closely to see if any additional impacts could be expected from the weather with that wildfire. Next chance of rain doesn't come until next week and should be beneficial, but at this point doesn't look to be a strong storm potential, at least as of now.